Star Wars Destiny has taken quite a journey from non-playable supports to decks depending on them for their winning strategy.
Across the Galaxy is no different, with the vehicle metagame being enhanced even further. We discuss the influence vehicles have had and will have going forward in the final set of this block.
This is episode 108, Deploy the Fleet.
You have been well trained.
No.
You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
Do.
I won't fail you.
Or do not.
I'm not afraid.
Please don't try.
Welcome everyone to another week of the Chance Cube. Here we are. We are a week and a couple of days out from a new set.
My birthday! Oh, the new set. Okay.
Is your birthday
That's
coming
fine,
up?
It is.
See, I'm so bad with birthdays.
2 days after the new set, so if anybody wants to know what to get me, ta-da!
There'll be a case in the mail for you.
You know,
A case of proxies.
Friends, here's a life lesson from Kim. Don't buy an old house, and certainly don't buy a house without getting all the right inspections done. Because in a few years, you'll have to replace the entire breaker box, and it's going to suck. And it's going to take all your money. And don't do that. And then you can't buy cool, fun things like the new booster set until you get birthday money.
Wow. Growing up stinks.
Being an adult is completely overrated. I don't know who said this was the best thing ever.
All right. Being an adult? Who said that?
I don't know, but I felt that I was led to believe that as a child.
I mean, you get to make your own decisions, but then you have to pay for them too. Usually with a much more substantial cost. Anyways, here we are, Star Wars Destiny. We're so excited that this new set is coming out. It's about time. The buzz around the Destiny community is certainly back. Now that we've seen some good stuff, and of course they dropped Vader on us last week, and I didn't get a chance to talk to you or Mike about it. Me and Matt had to drum up the excitement around Vader with all the technical issues we were having last week, but he's so popular and exciting going into the new set that we've got two major content creators already like doing live proxies of him. Right? Forget TTS, like they're just like printing them out and faking up some dice and going to town and to see how it works.
I like it. I think that's a more, I don't know. I'm not knocking TTS in any way, but I don't know. I just feel like I still roll terribly, but I don't know. I just enjoy the game live more than I do through TTS. So it's cool. And I feel like this is the first time, I'm sure other people have, but it's the first time that I've seen them actually pull out a proxy for somebody.
Sure. No, it's true. And I've been enjoying watching everybody's excitement about Vader. Certainly there's a lot more. There's another 159 cards in this set to be excited about, I hope.
I think there's like one legendary left, right? Haven't we seen 5 of them?
Oh,
did I read that correctly?
I have not been keeping track, but I would be surprised if there's not much left. I mean, I haven't been keeping track of what we have seen versus what we haven't seen.
I try to forget.
So you'd be surprised.
Well, exactly. Like we were talking about right before we kind of started, is that you lose. The spoilers are fun and it gets you super like woohoo. But when you open the packs, now I mean there's still an excitement to opening packs. You're like, oh, I really hope I get but I think there's a little more. I know that's only worked one time for me, but it legit worked. I went, oh, I hope this is a Han, and it totally was. It was awesome. But otherwise, I mean, but you know what you could be getting. I don't know. I like although I'm the one who spoiled herself on like every movie and TV show ever, so I don't know.
Yes, you are the major
the ultimate spoiler.
Speaking of spoilers, have you been watching Resistance at all?
I haven't watched it yet.
I think episode 4 turned a corner for me. I think we're gonna get some good stuff.
I think maybe I was waiting on it to get its legs a little bit because I think it started. Gone are the days. I heard it started a little. I don't know.
I think it started yesterday or Sunday. I think it started hobbling a little bit more and less a slow crawl. I think.
That's cool.
I think we're
and I like to be able to watch several episodes at once. Thanks, Netflix. You've ruined me forever. It's hard to watch one episode and then wait a week for another episode. So it's on our list. In fact, we were just talking about it earlier this week, how we want to get going on that. Now that it's a few episodes in, so we can watch a couple. And
I think 1 through 3, you may be like, man, what am I doing? In episode 4, you're like, okay, I can see where there's some.
But I was waiting on somebody to tell me that.
That Dave Filoni depth is going to start coming in. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen because it is geared towards the younger audience. But
wasn't the first season of? I feel like we had the same conversations about the first series of Clone Wars, first season, as well as Rebels. If maybe not the first couple of seasons of Rebels.
Well, I think
geared
Rebels
it is a cartoon.
Yeah, Rebels ended such on a high point that I think everybody wanted Resistance to start there. And
you can't do that. No, you have to attach yourself to the characters. And I honestly think that's why I've struggled with some of the other movies. Rogue One did a good job, but in the beginning you're like, who are these people? Like, I don't have an emotional attachment to them yet. Mm. So you have to build that. You can't just inherit it, I guess.
And I wouldn't be surprised if whether it's Disney / Lucasfilm telling FFG, or FFG jumps on the bandwagon to get some of these characters into the game. We certainly saw a fair amount of Rebels show up, and Clone Wars, obviously, with Talzin and that realm of characters. So I wouldn't be surprised we see some more pilots from this series.
Maybe get some more ships.
Mm-hmm. Some cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Oh, there's some great ships. Even the concept of racing, I don't know if and we got pod racers. This is hard to kind of weave into the game, but I don't know. We'll see.
I apologize if you guys can hear the rambunctious noise that is the guy in his muffler outside my house.
Muffler man, he's like been on the show as long as you have.
He's sitting down there just revving it. I'm like, come on, man, come on, light, turn green.
So I know that I just dropped some goodies in the mail for an event that's happening near you this weekend. Which is tied into a much larger gaming for good kind of thing going on out in the world. So why don't you let us know what I sent a bunch of stuff to?
Well, and I would say definitely check your local areas, your local game stores. This weekend is a big fundraiser for Extra Life. So a lot of those funds are going to children's hospitals. So you're doing this, none of this money is going in anybody's pockets, but it's being a fundraiser for kids. What better way to do that than through gaming, really? So I have seen a lot of different local groups. I've seen 2 or 3 pop up where they're doing Star Wars Destiny as part of this fundraiser. So the Chance Cube, we're happy to sponsor one such local event in my area. That's going to be at... As soon as I said that, I'm like, oh my gosh, the name of the store just slipped my mind. Ravenstone, right? Oh gosh. Josh, I'm so sorry. He's going to text me later and kick me. Hang on, 2 seconds. Fill the time, Jason. Do a dance. Do a song. Song and dance time. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I had this up earlier, and my apologies, you guys. So what happens when you do it live? It's Ravenstone Games. Sorry, there's too many Raven things. So Ravenstone Games on Sunday, so a lot of these places do 24-hour events. So you're probably going to want to check and see what time frame they could be doing board games or Destiny events or stuff like that. But our local group, you'll find some goodies from the Chance Cube if you're heading out to that particular event. Our local one is at noon on Sunday. Very cool. So be sure to check your local areas. Such a cool fundraiser. They do it about this time every single year. So if you happen to miss it and you think, hey, I'd love to do that, try to get your local store or gaming group involved.
Yeah. It's kind of like doing like a walkathon or some sort of sponsored marathon, but instead you do gaming.
But it's a game-a-thon.
I mean, that's like...
How is that not a blast? Right? Yeah. We actually usually do an event this weekend, but we bumped it a week because I was selfish and wanted to do it on my birthday. So
we've been doing this show long enough, and I've known you long enough that this is the second time I've heard you talk about this.
Nerdapalooza, man.
The breeze. This is the Nerdapalooza.
4th. I think we're on our 4th annual. Did I add it up to right? Last year's was a Star Wars theme, and it was a lot of fun. I was very tempted to do Star Wars again this year.
It's kind of hard not to do Star Wars, and given our line of
well, I have lightsabers, and I have
Yeah.
But that is our game-a-thon that we'll be hosting. We decided to bump it up to 12 hours this year. Wow. So friends will be coming and stopping by over the course of 12 hours and gaming and partaking in food and good times.
That's awesome. That's exciting.
That's like our end of. Yeah, it's like our end of. We always do it after Halloween. So if we do costumes, you can get them cheaper.
Sure. No, I totally get it. I think we've been trying to sleep over here.
I bet. But Ray's 1 month old.
Ray is 1 month old. I know this is. It feels like time has flown by. I still have like 2 months off of work, which is great.
That's awesome.
I know. I'm super excited. I'm hoping to make it out to some sort of release draft for Across the Galaxy. I don't know what my local area is doing and whether or not I'll be able to sneak away, but I know that
that's what baby carriers are for, man.
I mean,
just strap her, just rip her in there.
Care. I think that'd
be
great.
Away you go.
I'll be like, hey, Sarah, I'll give you a night off.
There you go. Most gamers are cool with that, man.
Me and Ray are gonna go draft some Destiny.
Chances are she may sleep the whole time.
I don't know. We'll have to see. What happens. I know it's coming up. There's a busy weekend coming up, but Cross the Galaxy is so exciting to me. I think next week we're going to talk a lot about kind of what we're looking forward to in the game.
Yeah.
And kind of the decks, because every
terrified of
right, and every set seems to release a block of cards. They're like, well, if you play this card, you got to play these like 7 other cards. Until people who are way smarter than us say, well, no, that's not the best way to do it.
Right.
But they even just looking at all the Vader cards, looking at all the new Clone Wars, Trooper cards that have come out. Now these decks, these card collections that were like only a third of your deck can now encompass almost your entire deck because they kind of expanded out on those ideas, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah, there's so much symmetry now that as things have grown and changed, and I don't maybe that's some of Jeremy's influence. I don't know, maybe it isn't, but
symmetry. I like it. That makes it sound so smart.
Sure. But it's so much more thematic connections. Darth Vader and Darth Vader's lightsaber, and now you have all those extra punches that you get for playing this on a particular character, to encourage that play. Not to say, yeah, that's a great option, but I'm still going to play it over here on this character. You have that option too in this game, but I like how they're tying that, the theme to it, to make it that it's not just a game with Star Wars characters in it. Mm-hmm. It's actually a game that incorporates those abilities, those weapons, that ship to that particular character.
Yeah,
it adds a lot of depth.
Totally,
I like
totally.
That.
So with that, we've rambled on long enough without without continuing to ramble on much further. Well, let's jump into the news.
Woohoo!
Let me take that back, huh? You'll find what you need.
So we've been fairly remiss on reporting on the international events, and that's unlike us. We're generally pretty tuned into the international scene, but we can't. We love the guys over at Your Destiny so much. We can't go by without mentioning Nordic Nationals that happened this last weekend. Yep. A huge congratulations to Klaus, who was their kind of the voice of Your Destiny, so to speak.
I know.
He
never met the guy. Yeah.
Made it to semifinals or finals.
That's
he made it to the final game. He came in second place at Nordic with his. He went with a Kylo Snoke deck. But the event, and this is what I think is so interesting about our national scene, which ended a month ago, 2 months ago even. And here we come to Nordic Nationals, was won by Luke Yoda, which is turning out to be quite a powerful deck. Just after U.S. Nationals, most of the high competitors in Star Wars Destiny domestically have just have moved on to more casual things, because there isn't a reason to spend the time to develop those really finely tuned top of the line competitive decks. But to see a Luke Yoda, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Very cool
for that combination to take it to the top. A nice kind of single character with a support aggro mono blue deck. Kind of harkens back to Rey Ayla, sort of, not really, because that's middle, but that idea of just packing out the punches and getting those resources and shielding up Luke all the time. I mean, it scares me.
Sad we didn't get to see that deck here, honestly, and then we'll never see you won't see a variation of it. If everything's going to rotate out, then likely stuff within that deck will be gone.
Yeah. And I
haven't seen the deck list, but
yeah, I don't think they posted them yet. But it would be interesting to see it. It's new enough to be exciting because the meta has kind of stalled over here. At least on a national level, it is stalled. But Talon Truth says they are posted, so you can head over to your Destiny's.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Your Destiny.dk, and I'm sure they've got all the deck lists, which they've been really good at compiling for pretty
They're
much
good
every
guys.
nationals. They've got their people doing those things. And
yep, they put out a lot of good articles over there. So yeah, definitely check out their write-up on it because they're going to have a first-person interpretation of a lot of that. So it'd be a good read for sure.
Sure, absolutely. But on top of course, the nationals. I think international nationals. There's not too much left. If anything, I'd have to look at the calendar because here in the U.S. we're really looking towards regionals. A lot of stores have started announcing when their regionals are going to be, although FFG has yet to release, to my knowledge, a full listing of where the regionals are and when they are.
Yeah, not that I've seen either.
They did last year, and then it updated. But we'll see. But of course, the spoiler game is afoot, as they say.
The foot are in Ninja Turtles. Wrong. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
The foot are the bad guys in. Okay,
wow.
Moving on.
So 2 content creators were able to release spoilers this week. First off, our friends over at The Golden Dice. They got some new cards from, I would say this is it's the Mother Talzin. It's the Night Sisters collection of cards. We talk about this particular set expanding on existing themes that already exist in the game. Luce?
I'm not familiar with this character. I assumed that you would know.
The name, no. And the crazy mohawk on the Dathomirian is also unusual. I have not done any sort of Star Wars thematic research on her. However, there is a quote, so I'm assuming that she was in Clone Wars at some point in time.
That's what I was thinking too. And I was trying. I haven't got, like I said, I haven't dug into it yet, but I don't recall seeing. But that's my guess. That's where she has to be from.
Sure.
And, if anybody knows, tell us. But
and continuing on the theme of the Night Sisters being able to dish out some heavy control on some dice. She's an 8th health villain blue character. 1 range, 2 range, 1 indirect, 1 discard, 1 resource, and a blank. And she has an action. Discard a card from your hand that costs an odd number to reroll a die. And that is an action, not a power action. We haven't seen one of those in a set or two as far as characters are concerned. So she's pretty gnarly, being able to just randomly just reroll a die whenever you want to. Granted, you have to discard a card, and that's a pretty high price to pay in this game.
It is. I thank you to our chat. Impulse411 sent me a Wikipedia fandom page. And there is not much on her. She's a female. How do I say this, Jason? Dathomirian. Ah, dang it. Who was a member of the Night Sisters. She fought in the Battle of poop. They're playing it. Using 2 blasters until she was killed.
Yeah.
The end.
Crazy. But an 8/11 pointed character. The question becomes, are you going to see her and Mother Talzin and another kind of lower pointed character to be a 3 or a 4 wide deck? With all these tricks, is that enough to keep them alive? It doesn't feel like it is.
I would. I'm trying to think back to how she fits into, the Mother Talzin kind of is that where that is there? Some symmetry there that needs linked together that we just haven't thought of yet.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I think the discarding card from your hand is a pretty steep price to pay.
Yeah.
I mean, your hand sizes are so small, your deck size is so small. Now for a once every other round, sure, right? But we'll see. 11.
And if Mill stays so strong, then she's not gonna like. How could you do that to yourself? I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you face the Mill deck, you just wouldn't even use her action.
Exactly.
Unless you absolutely had to, but like you said, that's a card from hand. That's where Mill has its challenges the most time, is getting cards out of the hand.
Exactly.
There's so many out of the deck tricks, but out of the hand is you got to roll it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, 1 and 2 is pretty solid for an 8 health character, but I don't know. I feel like you have just as good of options I don't know. We'll see. I still think she looks pretty awesome, but she clearly didn't play a big part yet.
Sure, no. And then an upgrade for these witches, or at least themed around them.
This I dig.
Okay. 3 resource, a chain sickle as a villain upgrade weapon. After a character takes damage from this die, reroll any number of that character's character and upgrade dice. 2 melee, 2 melee, so 3 melee, discard, and 2 blanks. The 2 blanks scare me, but the 50% damage side, pretty solid. And I will hit it.
That's why I love this. I'm like, this looks so cool, and I'll put it in a deck and I'll hit a blank every freaking time. I just know it.
Right. And no, but I think I like.
Go
ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
See, I can't see your face. I moved the thing, and now I can't see your face, so I couldn't tell you were talking. Now, this one, I think it's so situational, but it could be. I mean, if you can get it down, it's like one of those where somebody has a ton of dice sitting. It's going to have to be played at the right time, because you're not going to just randomly be rolling somebody's stuff. But
right,
I don't know. It's one of those. This could cause a table to flip situation. I don't know.
Sure, and the nice thing is reroll any number of that character. It's not all of them. It's just the ones that you don't want to see, right?
Just the bad ones. Yeah.
And it's really we've seen the game design tilt this direction, where they're really trying to discourage someone from putting out a 5 or 6 die showing massive damage, because undoubtedly your opponent's going to have some way to kind of wreck your day if you sit on that much damage for so many turns.
But if you don't,
I think that started with easy pickings, and now we're seeing it in a card like this. Crazy.
The chat makes a good point that it being a 3 cost without redeploy does make it kind of pricey, and I totally agree with that, especially with 2 blanks.
I can see that, but in the current, I mean, this doesn't necessarily have to be played with the a witch package, if that's what we're going to call it.
A witch package. I like that.
But blue, especially blue villain, Snoke's going to be a thing for a while unless they balance him in some direction or rat at him in some way. Getting resources for blue is no longer really an issue. So I could see this. In some sort of Snoke or some sort of. I mean, even Talzin, right, can flip your die. Doesn't have to. She can flip your die to a resource side. You can get this out early on too. So
it'd be nice.
We'll see. I mean, the kind of the crazy control aspect of this upgrade is really cool. But
I dig the art and the weapon itself.
The colors are great on this card.
But we'll see how well this weapon doesn't play. I like the melee, the non-cost melee sides big time.
Sure.
It's a big selling point for me, but...
and last from the Golden Dice, we got another upgrade, was the Energy Bow.
This
an
one was
upgrade
cool.
Weapon. After one of your card effects rerolls 1 or more character dice, you may reroll this die. After one of your card effects rerolls 1 or more character dice. Oh, okay. So if this die is sitting bad, someone else... with all your other stuff. Yeah, okay. No, it totally makes sense.
I mean, it's another 2 blanks. I mean, it's a 1 cost though, so it's a nice building block, as I like to call them. I like getting a 1 cost weapon down so that I can turn around and build upon it later.
Being a 1 cost is awesome. My concern is, granted, and Chain Sickle's designed to work with all these, but now you've got mixed damage, so now it makes this whole package less exciting.
I think the mixed damage is odd. I mean, now this match it's really the Chain Sickle is the one that's out of sync, really.
Right.
But
right. No,
we'll see. I like it at a 1. At least it's a little something to get out there and get an extra die for some extra potential damage that you're probably going to be able to. Then you could override it with a sickle, or you know what I mean. Like it's just I like having that 1 cost to now bring a 3 cost down to a 2.
Yeah. Nope. No, I love it. So another content creator, Rebel, also got some spoilers this week. Going over to the hero side of things, Clone Commander Cody, the loyal strategist who turned at the last minute and tried to kill Obi-Wan. Sorry, not bitter.
Fair point, though. Fair point.
A 9 health hero character leader trooper. Got several subtitles there. 1 range, 2 range, 2 indirect, 1 resource, a special, and a blank. Another character that allows you to kind of change the rules of the game. When building your team, the point value of each clone trooper is decreased by 1. So that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Then the special side, take control of the battlefield and use its claim ability or power action, even if it has already been used this round.
That's pretty slick.
I mean, this clone package is really getting kind of cool. Like between Rex and now Cody.
Mm-hmm.
And then with his ability, you're going to be able to sneak in a clone trooper on there. And we'll see. Sarah's been playing a Rex trooper deck. Rex and 2 clone troopers, which is for mono red for hero is pretty solid.
That's cool.
So I can see this going in there and adding a whole new dimension of what it can do. And of course, there's probably some upgrades or things that we haven't seen that'll kind of fit in with this.
I would think so. Yeah,
we did get a couple of events though. 5 resource cost.
That's crazy. I'm sorry, it's still crazy to me.
Attack of the Clones. Ready any number of your non-unique characters that have the same title.
So that's specifically for your clone troopers.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's like a turn, that's like a round 6 play.
Yeah.
You gotta ramp into it, and then you gotta have the 5 resources just sitting there. Unless there's some sort of, hero card that's gonna come and let you play this,
yeah,
for free or something comes up.
Decrease the cost of some sort. Yeah.
And then you have to stack up some upgrades on those non-uniques for this to be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you're just rolling in the trooper card, then whoopie-doo! You're not going to get any bang for your buck, really. Yeah, I like this one, but at 5, I don't know that it had to be 5.
That's
I don't know that
it, ones they're going to regret costing it this high will never get used.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I could be totally wrong. That would be the first time.
What 5 resource cost events are used currently? Rise Again and Dark Ritual?
Yeah.
Is Dark Ritual 5 resources? I think it is.
Maybe. I can't remember.
But
I know Rise Again is.
Yeah. Do we have any other cards that are named after movies?
Ooh.
Because they always name a card. They always name a card after the set. We haven't seen the Across the Galaxy card. But
no, wait. Are you sure?
Have they released Across the Galaxy as a card?
I feel like that was a thing. I could be wrong. How do I do Star Wars? Oh man, this isn't gonna work. I'm gonna get the wrong thing.
Well, the chat's gonna beat you anyway.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So, but Attack of the Clones. I don't know. That was just a random thought of mine.
It's not going to do it because, it's... Hang on, what's this one?
What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking just... No, this is SDBDB. No.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where we can't remember... We haven't...
There's too many, I can't remember them all anymore. There is Attack of the Clones. That's a card in this new set.
That's what we're talking about right now.
Oh, for the love of God, Kim, use your brain. Oh, boy. For the record, it was a really tough day at work. Stuff broke. It was bad.
Last but not least, the last card...
I think you're right. Maybe not, Jason. You might be right.
The last card spoiled by Rebel is a 1 resource cost card called Deployment. Activate any number of your supports and non-unique characters.
This is way better.
It's interesting, because there's mixed opinions on this one. I think this is awesome. Especially if you have a vehicle pack.
It's $1.
$1, and then drop it on turn.
Any number.
Yeah.
So that would be... I would have had to... Okay, let me make sure I understand this correctly. does that mean that I would have had to? It's not reactivate, so they would have had to have not been used that turn to activate them.
Correct. Okay. So you're basically.
But I can just roll them all out.
Roll out all your vehicles at once. Your 5 X-wings.
That could be dangerous though, because then if I have all that pretty damage sitting out there, then they're going to use a deflect or a dot. Well, no, they can't use either one of those.
No one plays those anymore.
Well, apparently where I come from, I'm old. But I see why there's mixed opinions on it. Yes, it's amazing. I can roll them all out, but now all my dice are out, and they could be mitigated much easier.
Well, I mean, I think the charm of vehicle deck is to play slower. So after your opponent claims, you just sit there and roll out a bunch of stuff and beat their face in.
Correct.
So
because you're like, I still got stuff to do, and they're like, well, all right, I'll just wait here.
Yeah,
that's true.
So I don't know. I mean, I like it. I think there's.
It might be for $1. I feel like you have to at least think about it. If it's for $1, I feel like you have to at least think about it.
Yeah.
I don't think you just write it off.
Yeah, and start thinking about some non-unique characters that could have some sort of activation ability, or I don't know.
Do the Gungans? I haven't broken that deck out in a little while. I'm trying to remember what the Gungans text is.
Roll out all your Gungans. Roll out all your battle swords in one turn. Roll out all your. I mean, it's a neutral, so it's villains can use it too.
I don't know. Something to consider at least.
So, I still think I think everybody's still excited about Vader. Like that's the spoiler.
That was and there was so much speculation as Vader's clearly cycling out in the set. How do you continue on in a Star Wars game and not have not an Anakin, not a young Vader? How do you not have a Vader? And we deserved another one because he sort of kind of trickled away. And I don't know that this Vader's going to go anywhere super quick. As in, like, fade away. He's awfully powerful.
We'll see. And
I could be wrong.
I mean, no,
people will play him because he's Vader. I mean, you're going to build a deck around him because it's Vader.
We're in a very much a 3-character deck situation, and Vader does not allow for that. So you have to, that.
Very true, but
so
did your bromance. I mean, he kind of it wasn't. There were still some 3-character wide decks when Palpatine was making it stink.
My bromance. Okay, no, I get it. All right. Very cool. Well.
Good point, Talon Truth. He had mentioned that the reason Awakening's Vader is hurting is because of he's a big, and removing his dice was key, which I totally agree with.
Yeah, I mean,
but now with the power action and roll back in, there's a lot of cards that help with that.
You figured out how to play around them, and now it's Now you just got this new Vader is like the Palpatine with endurance, like all in one card. Amazing.
Yep, I would totally agree with that.
Love it. I mean, everybody's going to try one, right?
If you get one.
If you get one. Yeah, if you're lucky enough.
I think that, right now, that and his lightsaber will probably be... That was what I expect to be at the top of the price. The most expensive card in that set.
Sure.
Unless whatever they're holding back is the next legacy is even bigger than that, but I don't know that it will be. I feel like Vader and his lightsaber will be too high... expensive cards if you don't pull them out of a box.
Sure. I mean, what could they be holding? There's nothing. I mean, as far as Star Wars goes, there's nothing bigger and better than Vader.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
unless they bring out my build your own. Why can't I think of words tonight? This is fabulous. Build my own Death Star kit.
Oh,
that could be the 6 legendary.
6 legendary. Build
it's
your own
the
Death Star.
First piece. It's just the first piece of the Death Star. You have to wait for the next boxes, like for whatever comes after Across the Galaxy, to get more pieces of said Death Star.
That's funny.
Do it, FFG. Do it.
Oh man, totally cool. All right, so we're gonna jump into our discussion and talk a little bit about vehicles.
Vroom, vroom. You know, Mike, I just can't seem to get the cards I need in the booster packs I've bought. I'm still missing a Mother Talzin, a Darth Maul, and I need some more battle droids. That 5-wide droid deck isn't going to build itself, and I have all these extra Yodas.
Seriously, Kim, I told you, check out Armada Games. You can buy and sell Destiny cards on their website, shoparmada.com. It's just a few simple clicks and bam, you are done. I used it just the other day, and now I got two Maul Sabers heading my way.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? We're in the middle of a break here.
Jason, you know how you've got all those extra cards from all those booster boxes you open? Mike says you can sell them online super easy.
No way, seriously? How? I've got to make room before this next set comes out.
Jason, whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, Armada Games has just what you're looking for. You can buy and sell your Destiny singles all from the comfort of your living room. Pre-order the latest sets of boosters and find the droids you are looking for. You can also check out their selection of Destiny accessories. And you'll get free shipping on orders over $75. For an even better deal, be sure to use the coupon code TheChanceCube and receive 5% off your Destiny purchase. Visit their website at shoparmada.com. Armada Games. Get in here and game.
But you know what I always say. Speak softly and drive a big tank.
So Across the Galaxy, I think, is not shying away from the vehicle game, right? So vehicles showed up towards the at Worlds this year. There was quite a lot of interest and excitement around vehicles, especially on the hero side. That was the most successful builds between Rally 8 and Tech Team, getting all those vehicles out on the table and swarming your opponents, especially with the low cost of Ayla at the time. That particular team doesn't work anymore because of her little balance there. And getting the rainbow, so having access to all the vehicles. Since then, with Empire at War, nope, Way of the Force. Wow, blast from the past. Where are we now? Way of the Force brought in some excitement around Snoke. Snoke made villain vehicles very obtainable between Snoke Bazine, First Order Trooper, which the Hyperloops piloted at the at U.S. Nationals. Snoke Thrawn was an early favorite and has been teched to work really well. And then, to round out the villain kind of vehicle / support decks, you got the Afra kind of droid vehicle hybrid decks that have also been very popular. Interesting to see vehicles become so interesting, accessible, and viable. These decks that play little to no upgrades, right? You may be playing a Force Illusion. You may be playing a Chance Cube to get some extra resources, but I don't know. I'm just intrigued. I'm intrigued by how we went from no vehicles to let's do this thing.
Well, a lot of that had to do with the pace of the game, though, right? I mean, vehicles couldn't survive the early aggro with the game. It was just too fast. You couldn't roll out enough game. You couldn't get them down, and you couldn't roll them out fast enough before everybody was dead on your side. So it really came with, as the game started to slow down, that's what made vehicles viable. And now that it is, now you're getting, I don't know, a decent amount of players that want to play vehicles. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think a lot of that's been a shift in the community's perception of it. And because otherwise, I mean, we could just as quickly swing back to super fast aggro decks again. But I know we heard Jeremy say at Nationals last year how he wanted to get back to the art of the back and forth in this game, not just a fast aggro.
No, it's true. And I think it's really interesting, too, when you think about the most expensive support in this game. There's two of them, right? They're both 6 cost. One came out in the last set with Planetary Bombardment, and one came out in the very first set with ATST.
Yeah, that card, everybody went, I'm never going to use that.
No one, it has not seen play, especially at a competitive level,
except
until this last meta, right? I mean, until Way of the Force allowed that 6 cost to be obtainable via Snoke and some power action craziness. That's a good point. I think vehicles were also hard to get behind because there wasn't enough resource generation to get them out on the table.
consistently.
You had to
It was
save
too
too
hard
long,
to
and by
generate.
then someone would
Yep.
punch you in the face.
Yep, absolutely.
And to now see it so obtainable, and I think the heroes succeeded with Rally Aid and Tech Team. Tech Team's a neutral, so both sides can use it. Rally Aid was a hero only card, and was played very well. Those decks that like we said, let your opponent claim, draw your hand down to nothing but vehicles in your hand, Rally Aid whatever in, and then play the rest of it. Worked out really well. And I think that's a strategy heroes are going to continue to use in the next meta. And I think villains are going to continue to try to use Snoke to get those resources out, or they go with cheaper vehicles.
Now, in all fairness, I think we are to a point in the game that we should see more options to remove vehicles or supports.
It's almost as if you segued into the main part of the discussion here.
I even did that without trying.
I know you did. So Across the Galaxy is bringing, they're not shying away from vehicles, and it's something Jeremy is definitely interested in doing. Wants to go forward with making sure vehicles are prominent in the meta, but not so prominent that's the deck you have to play. And I think that's where we see Mauler Mythel. I want to say.
It just sounds like you're saying it with your mouth full of.
Mythel.
There's no good way to do that.
Vader's wingman, whom I didn't know had a name, but apparently he's been named this for a very long time because the original Cypher game had.
They must be chummy. They must be chummy on Fridays when they go out for a drink after.
Who?
Vader and this guy. Because otherwise, how'd he get a name?
That's funny. So Mauler, if you don't remember, is a red villain character, a pilot, a 9 health, a 9/12 point value. He's very excited. He also...
Such a funny, seems so out of character that any trooper would have. It just makes me laugh.
He died. Actually,
feels like an 80s feel good kind of movie thing. I don't know.
1 range, 2 modified, 1 disrupt, a resource, and a blank. Really, the die doesn't matter, because after you activate this character, you may remove one of your vehicle dice showing range damage to place that damage on a vehicle in play. Then discard that vehicle if it has damage on it equal to or more than its cost. And I don't think we're going to see a villain vehicle deck play without him.
I agree.
Especially if vehicles become very prominent. I mean, again, that's going to be a meta call. It's going to, if you see a lot of vehicles in your area, because you could take a modified range side and remove it, right? You could take a range side that has a cost to it and remove it. So there's so many lower cost vehicles, and with the TIE Fighter, a great example. His TIE Fighter, a great example. Some great cards that are coming that have those, and you don't have to they could one shot any of these, 2 cost. Vehicles.
Oh, easily, yeah. And I think,
go ahead.
No, I think we have to at least see a couple more like that. You can't just, and I feel like there is a card out there, but it might be cycling out. And maybe there'll be more, because again, we're only spoiling kind of big stuff now. So maybe in some of the events you'll see a little bit more of that. But I think it's only fair to keep that balanced. Or else you'll have to see Mill will rise up, and that's the only then you would just mill them instead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the downside, Mauler versus a hero vehicle deck, he picks off the vehicles, and now the heroes have nothing else to play.
Because you have nothing else in your hand.
Because there's only 30 cards in your deck. So now we have seen some really skilled players out there. Joe Cullen is one of them, who tends to pilot vehicle decks that are not exclusively vehicles. Throw in an upgrade or two, right? Make sure you get some utility out of your characters. And we made this card.
I think that's smart. I don't know.
This card may see us going there, right? Because what if you're facing him, and all of a sudden, every vehicle you put down, he blasts out of the sky.
Blast it off. Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? You can't get it back unless we get into some sort of if a vehicle is discarded from play, you may bring it back kind of cards.
Well, I think it's coming when you can fish more stuff out of your discard. I think it's coming at some point, but we saw it with Sabine. I think I think it's coming. I don't think it'll come like super heavy, but I think there'll be a couple of options.
And you may have to start playing those vehicle heal cards too, right? The take damage off the vehicle.
Or Rose, yeah, you could easily see Rose have a lot more play. And I played a vehicle deck with her, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like,
no, she's solid for the hero vehicle side of things.
So I'm curious. Yeah, I agree with you. I think with what we still have left in the meta and what we're adding will be interesting combinations for vehicles. And you really just got to see how that shakes out with a lot of the oomph that some of those vehicle decks got cycling out.
Sure. He's coming along with his TIE Fighter, the Black 2, 3 resource cost, vehicle. While this die is showing range damage increase its value by 1 if you spot Mauler, which means that, you roll into the 4 for 1 on the Black 2, and
very nice.
Then you roll in Mauler and you take out a 4 cost support. So about 4 cost vehicle, right? Sorry, not support, but vehicle specifically. Or you have a 4 for 1 that's, nothing to snuff at. And considering that Mauler is a 9/12, right? I think you play him at 1 die. Because it's the vehicle die that you're concerned with, not his own. You play him 1 die and he's got 21 points worth of characters.
Yeah. Which is pretty... Yeah, because otherwise... Yeah, I would be... I can't think why you'd want to. Because it's not his die that you're after.
Right.
But then there is the chance of, if I remove... I'm always removing it, so that's not a character I'm ever going to be able to really count on for... I guess I'm not always removing it, but I would be frequently removing that die.
Oh, you're removing the vehicle die, not his. So his die doesn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah, I've had to read it a couple times just to make sure because that's not how most of these cards work. But his is you activate him, but you remove a vehicle die that's in play, which means you have to roll your vehicles in, which means they could get removed. So you have to kind of play the vehicle deck backwards to make use of his ability, because that's not generally how vehicle decks tend to play. You roll out those die that are not important, let them be targets of removal, and then roll out your big weapons. Across the Galaxy is also introducing for the first time upgrades for vehicles.
I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's a cool idea. I struggle.
I don't know how it's gonna be. I don't know how it's gonna play out yet, but I think it's a cool idea. And it goes back to that thematic tie. I feel like they're doing a good job of making vehicles relevant, because vehicles are very relevant in the Star Wars galaxy. And so are different upgrades on them. So thematically, it makes a lot of sense. Practicality, we'll see. I don't know yet. I want to try it.
I mean, do you think... I mean, it's not going so far that Destiny's going to be exclusively a vehicle game, but I mean, they're certainly putting a lot of focus onto this set.
But I feel like they put a lot of focus on that on a set, and the entire meta goes over here instead.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I feel like this happens so many times. That's cool. I'm going over here.
2 character, 3 die starts. That's what we're gonna do this.
I feel like that's happened more times than that we feel like this is really what the set's driving us to do.
Yeah.
So then we all tech to it, and we all end up over here because we've designed stuff to go against what that is.
That's fair.
We all expect everybody to build a vehicle deck, so I build a deck to tech against a vehicle deck, and then nobody builds a vehicle deck. And then we find all these other cool combinations over here. Forget all about vehicles. Vehicles what? There aren't ships in here.
Vehicles what?
Yeah. So I'm curious to see if that happens. If we all just try to tech against it, and then...
Well, vehicle decks tend to play slower, right? So, I mean, the game may speed up with cards like Vader.
Yeah.
The only fast vehicle decks are the ones that have Snoke, which I'm sure all the villain ones will.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You have to see. And we'll have to see what else comes out in the set, right?
We got a few surprises still.
Deployment, which is a card we talked about earlier, I think is a key card for vehicle builds. That's just my personal opinion. I have no supporting evidence on this at the moment, except for I'm going to pay 1 cost to roll out all my supports, especially in late game. I think that's stellar.
Late game is when that could matter, yeah. And after your opponent's out of stuff to do, so then they can't remove them all.
And last but not least, I think there's a significant Millennium Falcon package that comes with this set. Lando L337. I can't.
I find kind of annoying.
I can't get over the fact that her name is Leet.
It is.
And I'm assuming that was intentional, but I don't know. Anyways, so Lando allowing you to play a vehicle from hand, yellow vehicle from hand, decreasing its cost by 1. So kind of a built-in tech team, additional ability to bring in yellow vehicles cheaper, giving them an ambush, which is awesome. I mean, because vehicle decks tend to
that is
slow.
nice.
So he's going to bring in faster vehicles for the heroes. And if it's Falcon, you might as well go ahead and activate it. So you give it ambush and then activate it, so that die can't be removed.
Right.
I agree. I don't think L337. She's slightly annoying as a character, but as a card, I don't think we're going to see much. Only that when she dies, she becomes a mod upgrade.
Which is interesting, but I don't know how much we'll see of that.
Yeah, unless you wanted to re-ready the Falcon, but I think by the time she re-readied herself, it would struggle. I think we can find something better. We can find something better for Lando, because Lando wants. I mean, even though you're gonna, with his ability, go heavy on the yellow vehicles, I think he wants a red or a blue, probably a red character to pair with, so he can get Tech Team and Rally Aid until at least one of those. I think one of those rotate out.
One of them goes.
Yeah, one of them goes.
I do agree with Impulse 411 that L337 seems like the most thematically designed character since Hondo, and I don't disagree with that at all.
Oh, sure.
Like, I do think she's incredibly thematic. They certainly hit the nail on the head with that one. Yeah, she's just not one of my favorite characters. Like, I was spoiled by K2.
Yeah.
As far as droids, I like her, but yeah. Maybe I'll like her if I watch the movie more. I don't know.
The Falcon's escape craft, it's kind of. I feel like that's crummy. That's just me personally.
I'm just curious if it's going to be too it's just too cumbersome to pull off. That's what I want to see.
And you roll it. You can roll it a couple extra times, but it's all single sides. Focus, shield, resource. Attach it, detach it. Unless there's something else coming along that's going to make that cool. I don't know.
And some of this could take a while. I mean, how many times did we see though that it's out and I don't get it, and it's 2 more sets down the road that you went, oh, that's what. Sure,
I mean it's true, and that happens all the time, and it will continue to happen. That's how they're already thinking so many sets ahead, right? The new Falcon's pretty beastie, but 6 resource costs again. I think we can get that one down now. I think we've got enough ability, especially for the vehicles, to play that.
It's easier than the original Falcon, because that was 5, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And that seemed impossible. I wanted to play that card so badly, but I couldn't get the resources to get it out. Hardly ever.
But now, with all the different tricks, especially the villains have, I think, or the heroes have, I think 6 resources isn't impossible.
You can get there.
And for a 3 range, 4 range for $1, 4 indirect, 2 discard, 3 shields, and 3 resources on the Falcon itself.
It's not bad.
For this one. And this one allows you to get the escape craft out, so you can go ahead and get it, and attach it for free.
Do you think they'll ever allow overrides on supports? Like you do upgrades?
I think we'll see more things like
or do you think that'll just be attachments to them?
I don't think we'll see overrides on supports. I think we'll see supports that allow things to override them.
It makes the play area so large. Like, I'm thinking about how I have to get all these. Now I have all my characters and 3 supports that I have to make room for.
For sure.
Now I have all my supports with their supports to have to make room for. And that's all. You need to pay attention, because you'll miss something that you didn't activate or that you didn't like. It's a lot happening on your board.
Yeah, it is. And, of course, the TIE Fighters and X-Wings allowing you to bring 4 in of each of those.
Oh, yeah. Where are you going to put those guys?
Right. So we're getting these swarm mentalities. I think the last meta of vehicles was very much on especially for the villain side. I'm going to get out 2 or 3 really heavy hitters.
Yes.
And maybe a couple little ones. And now where it's like, well, you know what? I'm going to put out 12 vehicles, and they're all going to cost 2. And they're all going to be a pain in your butt.
you're going to have to make, at tournaments, you're going to have more space between the players if all this stuff comes to fruition and it gets played a lot, because you won't have room in a normal play area to accommodate all this.
We'll have to
with the swarms and stuff.
Tell Linked Gaming that we need instead of 2-foot wide mats, we need like 3-foot wide mats.
I know this 2-player mat I got would work, but
no, I like where vehicles are going. I don't know if
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out.
I think it's seen the most updating of any sort of mechanic in the game so far as what Across the Galaxy is bringing. It's seen the most like different things that are going to come, things to try. I hope we see more upgradable things. You weren't here last week, but kind of the running joke right now is you can play original Finn and Hera in a deck. You can have and original Finn and Hera and double down, and you can have 5 of each TIE Fighter and X-Wing in your deck.
Oh Lord. Oh boy. That's messy.
It's messy and awful at the same time, because
it'd be fun.
Your health pool is like 5, but
right.
And you're
like, well, I almost got everything out, and now they're dead. Huh. That's something to think about, though. That's fun.
Anyways, it's just, I don't know. That was just random thoughts.
I'm interested to see where this goes, and I think we're just seeing the groundwork, because this is a whole new set, so they're only going to build upon that. So I think we're just seeing the first steps of it. Yeah,
well, I mean, we're in set 6 officially, right? They're already planning through set 10. We don't know what new mechanics. Every set has added
a little
something, right? And that's how CCGs work. They want to keep your interest. I'm surprised to see, even in set 6, like we had indirect damage in 4. I can't remember what we got in 5. Was it
plot cards? Was it plot cards, or was
that thickened? The plot thickened.
But
and now we've got mod upgrades. Nothing too crazy, but I'm looking forward to. I think after this we'll have a month of playing and testing, and then we'll probably hear the name of the set for set 7 and what the new base set's going to be with its new starter decks and what new mechanics are going to come. Maybe we're going to finally get our build your own Death Star.
Yes, I'm counting on that. FFG, don't let me down. I should email Jeremy. Everyone email Jeremy. We would like a build your own Death Star. Ask him for specifications.
We actually said I think me and Ruben said as much to him at Nova. We said, "This is what we want."
I think I teased him about it at work.
Okay, so he's heard it. He's heard it multiple times from us.
He's heard it a couple of times
on our quest.
But just in case,
our quest card.
Just in case.
But we always end the show answering or reading your answers to our question, which, if we're lucky, was thematically tied to the show itself. So let's jump over to the question.
There can be no mistakes this time.
So we ask all you crazy kids, with what we've seen from across the galaxy thus far, what are your thoughts about the vehicle metagame? So just what we were talking about. Sean Arthur said, I think Vader's going to get chopping. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Alan mentioned kind of what we said, the vehicle game being in balance at this point, and it took a while to get there. I'm adding that, not him. But so many ways to remove ships and ship dice. But with the intro of the cards we saw yesterday, speaking of the spoilers earlier this past week, that do damage on spent characters, I think ships where you don't count on characters as much will do well. Interesting.
Christopher said mother ducking Vader.
That made me laugh out loud when I read that.
So I don't know whether that's like, I read the question. I didn't read the question fully to say like vehicle metagame, or we're just gonna say Vader because it doesn't matter what the vehicle metagame is. Vader's just
there was a lot. That's probably very true. Todd Jared Wright mentioned that we haven't seen a ton of vehicles. I mean, I think we've seen a small handful.
Yeah.
And then talking about that daggone double down plot. Yeah, that plot.
3 Hellfire tanks. That's not
Oh,
unique,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. Oh, that plot.
Double down.
I think that's the first plot. I know this is totally off topic, but I think that's the first plot you may see people build a decoration. And we speculated that was coming.
Double down. Sure. No, I mean, well, I mean, if you play the neutral one, right, you have to build the deck around it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But we had said like plot cards, early on. If you can include it, cool.
Oh, yeah?
If you get it in draft, better. Second set, ooh, there's a couple in here that could be worth adding in, like taking into consideration. This is one that was like, well, yeah, you're going to build a deck specifically so you can use this plot card.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
So yeah,
we'll see where it goes. I mean, across the galaxy, we've only seen, I want to say, about 35, 40 cards at this point. Maybe not even that many. And so that's not even a third of the set yet. Oh, that's exactly a third of the set. Nope, not even a third of the set. Math's so hard.
Math is hard. Math is hard.
And like they've changed math, and I'm not looking forward to my kid taking math. I mean, that's like
yeah,
6,
you
7
have
years
fun
from
with
now.
that.
But like,
they'll change it again by the time she takes
I can
it.
change it back to like counting on your fingers. I'm good with that.
Okay.
But thanks for joining us for another week. Certainly appreciate everyone who watches the show live. For those who
Thank you guys.
come and listen to the podcast later on, you're always welcome to join us Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, to chat with us in the chat. You can interact with the show live as it goes on. But we're always happy to have you guys to listen to the show, and thank you so much for your support.
Yeah. Thanks for putting us in your ears.
That sounds strange, but I understand where you're going with that. And we'll be back.
Hopefully
next
they
week.
laugh a little.
We'll be back next week to talk a little bit about where this set is coming. We hope to have something new to share, but
you'll be the first ones to know when we do.
That's for sure. Head over to our Facebook page, and you can answer our question for the week. Across the Galaxy is upon us. What are you looking forward to most out of this new set? And with that, we bid you farewell until next week.
Have a good one. Jason, what's the over-under on how many Vaders is the answer to the question of the week?
Oh, I don't know. We've had very little turnout for a question of the week recently. But I would say this one will probably generate a little more excitement. And I would say at least half the answers are Vader. I'll go with a percentage. I'll go with half.
I think you're probably pretty close. Maybe I'll say 30%.
You'll say 30? I'll have to write this down in our predictions document. We can read
that.
All right, everyone. Have a great week.
Thank you guys for everything. Have a great week.
This has been The Chance Cube, a Star Wars Destiny podcast, a non-profit organization dedicated to building community through gaming. Visit our website for all things Star Wars Destiny, including our Price Watch, Meta Tracker, and latest articles from the Chance Cube family. Find our latest videos on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit us at patreon.com/thechancecube. Your patronage allows us to grow this program and help us give back to the gaming community by sponsoring events, giveaways, and supporting our own community building initiatives. This is Mike Hill, the voice of the Chance Cube. Thanks for listening. The Chance Cube is not affiliated with Fantasy Flight Games, Lucasfilms, or the Walt Disney Company.